What's going on, everyone? Justin again. As always, thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. Light up the night, or in this case, how about an under hood light, right? So what we're looking at here is the premium under hood Bonnet cordless LED work light made from SP Tools, courtesy of your boy Kyle, aka the Rust Belt Mechanic and SP Tools. Booyah! Look, I'm looking forward to this. I gotta tell you, I gotta be perfectly honest. I was talking with Kyle about it. He's like, what do you think you might want to try? I was like, man, to be honest, my Saber 2 under hood light, my boss broke it. It's being held together by zip ties, still works. But I had thought about possibly retiring it back to the house as an under hood light for at home as a result. But I just keep using it because it's the only one I have and it's the brightest one in the shop. He's like, perfect, got a product for you, sir. So he made sure to get down there and send this off. And he said it's gonna be extremely low profile. You're gonna love it. So let me check this thing out. All right, let's stick that off to the side. We don't need the bag for right now. Let's open this thing up. I can tell you, this thing is skinny as hell right now. This thing is very thin. Wow. Dude, look at how thin that is. That is low profile. No kidding. He wasn't kidding when he said low profile. This is extremely low profile. We're gonna see in comparison to the Saber 2 that I've had for years at work tomorrow. We're gonna see just how far this bad boy stretches out. Got a couple of Fords that I'm working on. You can see that it's micro USB chargeable, right? So you have the cable that can plug into that. You plug it into the wall. And it's 500 and 1000 lumens. So you get the brightest setting on number 1. You get the second brightest setting, which is 500 on 2. So 1000 on number 1, 500 on number 2. And it does have an LED indicator that tells you how fully charged it is. So if you had an oily hand, needed something to grip to, this is rubber and plastic mixed up. But you can just go over, hook it onto the hood, pull it on out. I mean, that stretches pretty far. I don't know if we can get it all on camera. Yeah. But it stretches out on the one side, the other side stays fixed. So that's pretty cool because you can just bammo, come right on over here and you got it hooked up. Digging it, digging it, digging it. It pivots 360 all the way around. Kyle was also kind enough to offer us a discount code. I think it's like 10% if I'm not mistaken. It's SP Cheers. And you're gonna wanna go to www.sptoolsusa.com. You go ahead and you type in that promo code SP Cheers and get 10% off of your purchase. So if you're a Californian and you don't want to pay 10% sales tax, bammo, you get it for exact price. If you don't have to worry about sales tax because you're in a non-taxable state, maybe you get it just 10% cheaper than cost, right? So that's pretty cool in a nutshell. And then that's like 20% off almost for those of you that live in a non-taxable state. So that's pretty cool if you look at it like that. At any rate, very excited about lighting up some under hoods and seeing how long the LED can be on the brightest setting for before I have to charge it. And then the secondary setting, it being at 500 lumens. Pretty excited that it has an LED indicator that tells you exactly how much this thing is charged. So we'll make sure to take that to work and try it out. Speaking of brightening up the darkness, let's kind of go into how attitudes can often reflect other attitudes in the shop, and when someone is like in a bad mood, how someone being in a good mood could cheer up their day and just kind of brighten their day up a little bit. I think a lot of times as mechanics, we go through such struggle and strife with working on something that's just become, you know, so frustrating that we can just beat ourselves up mentally, and it's also physically, but mentally we beat ourselves up about it. I think too often to the point where maybe we go a little bit of beyond of what the situation actually is. There's been a handful of times with me working at the independent shop and certain projects that I've ran into that it literally had beat me down to the point where I wasn't even sure if I even wanted to work anymore. Not just at the shop, I'm saying like in general, work anymore on cars, because I just got so beat up with how this job was handling me, not me handling that job. And I've seen this happen with a couple of guys at our shop, and you know, I try to like pick everyone's spirits up and be a little bit jokey, but you know, sometimes that doesn't even help. You know, sometimes you really can't do anything, and you just have to hope that they're able to get back into that positive, good feeling, that back in that rhythm, you know. This is another thing. See this beanie that I got here? I got this from Mountain Tools, and I got this from Jeff. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Tunes to Go. But we also bought some mountain caps that I have that I gave to the girls here at the house for early Christmas. It's got Bluetooth and it's got speakers built into it. I'll throw some product links down below from yesterday's video too that has similar beanies with this built-in headset. But music is where I was going with this. Really can pick my spirit up. It can sometimes pick up other people's spirits, because as you're having a bad day, sometimes I want to drown out the noise in my head that's going on, whether I'm frustrated with a car, or I get tired of racking my nuts on the under hood latch, or maybe catch something wrong with my gut or my hand, or I slice my hand on a zip tie, or just whatever, or I'm working and all of a sudden, you know, like today, oh my God, I had everyone rolling. I was pressure testing the cooling system on a Volkswagen Tiguan, and we didn't have any loss of pressure, but when it was running, it was losing coolant through this water pump that's kind of built in. It's got a drive belt kind of deal on it where it's geared, and only when the car was driving was it actively leaking, so I had to take this pump off. Well, I had it under pressure still, not remembering that I had it under pressure. I started pulling the fasteners off, getting the hoses and everything ready to pop off, and next thing you know, boom, it just exploded coolant like all over me. I dropped the socket, dropped my cordless ratchet. I had to run over to the bathroom to rinse and wash my eyes out and everything, because I had coolant all over my face. My sweatshirt's still covered in coolant. This arm is slightly damp now, where it was absolutely soaked today. But I could have been very, very mad at that. Other people were kind of laughing at it, and I just kind of shrugged it off and was like, you know, what can I do? Had my tunes on, was in the mood, I was in the zone, I was just feeling pretty good, even though that was one of those things that would make just about anyone mad, to be completely saturated in coolant when it has been as cold as it has been, which is about like the mid to high 30s in the morning and maybe about 60s-ish kind of going towards the afternoon. But frustrating to say the least, you know what I mean? Another frustrating aspect that can really change your mood too is you're already working on one car and you're asked to stop working on that one because this other car takes priority. You got to jump over to it. Then you're working on that car, and as you're getting it apart, you have to stop that because another vehicle came in that took priority. So you got like 3 or 4 priorities that you're all working on, and you're like, dude, then when you finally get back to the next one that you originally started on, they're like, dude, why isn't it done yet, or what's taking so long? It's like, don't tell me that. Don't ask me that question, because you should already know the answer to it. When I'm jumping from this job to that job to that job to that job, and then I have to come back to this job, I have to take 3 to 4 different waves of mental thinking about various puzzles on different vehicles, and I have to remember where I left off originally some 3 hours, 5 hours ago, only to go back to where I was, get back into my groove, and get back into the swing of things. You can easily get into a groove if you're doing a trans job where you take that even if it's the first one you did, you have that first moment where you're looking at everything, you got things lined up, you're pretty organized, you're coming back apart, and then all of a sudden, even like one oil change comes in, so you get the oil change done, you come back to it, you can kind of get back into the swing pretty quick. But if you went from that to pulling an intake, to pulling a water pump, to doing a water pump and timing belt, then you go back to an oil change, and then you come back to the intake job, it's like, yeah, man, I got too many fasteners to really think about, so that can get frustrating. That can upset you. That can change your mood. And if it happens too often, it can just keep you in that bad mood. You know what I mean? So the best thing, the number one thing is that you got to find that something that can kind of get you back on track. And I'm not saying that you're not going to go a few days, maybe even a week of just being upset because that's the flow. But try to find something that can lighten the mood back up, and maybe you can kind of get back into the rhythm of where you were and being cheerful and adaptive. You know what I mean? It's just, it is difficult. This is one of the most difficult jobs, I think, out there, as far as trying to always adapt on the fly, adapting and overcoming. You know, something's broken, you don't have anything that you can possibly get, like parts wise, where you have to fix the one that is broken. Even if you broke it, you have to adapt to it, figure out how to fix it, or adapt it to make it work because there's not an available part. I mean, the customer needs their car right away. I mean, there's just, it's extremely difficult, and it can be extremely frustrating, especially if you let it beat you up and get to you. And it will. It's gotten to me a few times. I've exposed that with you guys here on YouTube during my worst days and my best days, and we kind of go back and forth, and we try to create discussion topics like this on, like, what do you guys do when you have a bad day? Does music work for you? Does buying something off the tool truck kind of pick your spirit up a little bit? Because now you're excited, right? You got this new thing that you want to try out. Does coming home or just working hard to play harder on the weekend with the family and doing something really cool, does that help you out? What motivates you? What keeps you moving forward? And what brings you back to that positive vibe and atmosphere? I'd like to know down in the description. That's all I got for this video, guys. Look, thanks as always for watching my channel. If you like today's content, smash a thumbs up. If you didn't, smash a thumbs down. Share if you want to share. Check the description. All the times I'm getting, where's the codes, man? Where's the links? The links to all Amazon products will be in the description, as well as products that we showcase, like this one specifically that's on the SP Tools website, okay? www.sptoolsusa.com. The discount code is also in the description. I know you guys are like, what's a description? It's the drop down arrow, bro. Hit the drop down arrow, menu pulls up, you'll see those things. That's all I got for now. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll put this thing side by side to the Saber 2. Cheers to those of you that have your beers. Have a better day. Have a merrier Christmas. Happy Christmas Eve coming up. And we'll do a side-by-side comparison for you guys, and we'll post it tomorrow. Cheers and deuces.